Danjo. My name is Steven Fernandez. I am currently the Nakan of the Tudasenende Apache band of the Apache Nation of Texas. And I just wanted to go ahead and talk about cognitive dissonance among our people and the dangers of protesting and demonstrating in this day and age. Now, I'm sorry for the quality of this video. I'm not sure what's going on with the camera. It's rather a little distorted. See if I can get it to kind of focus a bit. I think that's about the best I can do. But anyways, a lot of people have been commenting on my posts. Basically, I promote a spiritual aspect to the Apache, I guess would say, lifestyle and traditional means of living. And I've been told that my mindset is wrong, how I think that everyone should be doing the exact same, that, other Lapons think differently, other Kunitsa, like that. Okay, first off, let me tell you one thing. Okay? I'm not trying to be disrespectful to anybody, but if you're not of the Kunitsa, you don't speak for the Kunitsa. That's first and foremost. The Kunitsa people are a band, and a band is a family. If you're not part of that family, as far as I've been taught, been told by several people, you do not speak for those people. Just as I don't speak for the Lakota in any way, or the Apache, bands as a whole. I don't speak for any other Apache group or any other Native American group or organization, for that matter. I speak individually for myself, and I speak upon behalf of my family, the Kunitsa. Now, for that being said, it seems that a lot of y'all have this resistance towards being spiritual. Y'all feel the need that we have to do things in a way that, makes our presence known. Well, we used to do that kind of stuff to make our presence known. And it caused a lot of tensions back in the early times, where we got notice of the United States government, and they sent the U.S. Army out to come and hunt us down and literally exterminate us. Well, that's happening even now today, and we see that, what extended to Native Americans has been extended to all American, United States citizens. Let's not call it America, because America is actually a continent. That's another thing we need to get straight as far as facts. America is a bilateral continent of North and South. But the U.S. citizens are getting a taste of what it's like to be a Native American in this day and age. The Constitution has been subverted. A lot of you think that, we're protected under constitutional rights of freedom of press, freedom of speech, freedom to assemble. That's just not the case. There is a 100-mile radius around the United States called the Constitution Free Zone, where the Constitution does not apply to any situation whatsoever. This was, of course, done through the American Patriot Act that George Bush signed. So, congratulations, America. You are now living in the largest reservation known today, which is the United States, thanks to that little bit of legislation. Also, too, your First Amendment rights are no longer protected by the Supreme Court, because the Supreme Court has made it well aware that police departments do not have a constitutional responsibility to protect their citizens. They are basically, municipal agents of whatever government there is. And if you look at the Organic Act of 1871, which I recommend, researching this stuff, because a lot of y'all have a tendency to, tell me certain facts, but I do a lot of research. I do a lot of things like that. I'm trying to become a secured party creditor at this point right now to take back my sovereignty and my rights. So it's another thing I recommend looking into too, becoming a secure party creditor. Um, the Organic Act gave authority to the District of Columbia to be its own government. So basically, like that, we don't even have a centralized government. The District of Columbia is basically its own government within our government. So that's even if, the fallacy that, there's a United States of America, it's really there's a United States corporation of the Americas. So let me go into the other part of why I feel the need that we need to go a different route other than protest demonstrations. We've seen it today with Ferguson. We've seen it with many other protests like the Occupy Wall Street. We've seen it with, sometimes with the Pipestone XL going through like that. Some of these celebrities getting arrested. It seems like we have the government that doesn't quite follow what the Constitution was supposedly supposed to be, which is supposed to limit the powers of the government itself. But we see more and more in the day and age that these governments have taken it upon themselves to go ahead and do what they deem fit to protect the corporations, which are paying them to go ahead and violate your rights. And they pay them billions upon billions of dollars. And another thing you don't realize like that, but you might think that these people are public servants, and they're not really. There's nothing public about these particular people. Politicians are not public servants. You think they are, but they're not. They're corporate shills. They take payments. They have what's called legal bribery, which is basically lobbying. That's what it is. So why is it dangerous now in this day and age to protest? And I have a lot of people say, well, we peacefully do it like that. There's nothing peaceful about it. When you got people shouting, you got people, basically, berating others in the streets like that, it no longer becomes peaceful. It becomes, somewhat confrontational. And I've seen a lot of them, a lot of protests become confrontational. I've seen a lot of leaders of these protests, get in people's faces, start arguing, and it sometimes gets out of hand. But, we need to find a spiritual way, a spiritual rather than a political, because political divides us. That ideology is a colonial mindset. Policy or politics is a colonial mindset that we've all fallen into. And I hate to say this, but congratulations. If you're political, you're assimilated. It's plain and simple as that. You have an assimilated mind who thinks that, using the way of the American political system, the American education system like that is going to benefit you somehow. But it's not. A lot of the American political system is flawed. They change laws and statutes faster than most people change their underwear. And sometimes they put it in so much what they call multifaceted, definitions of those particular laws that they can manipulate in any shape or form that they have in order to do the one thing that is the purpose of their laws, which is to basically get your money. All laws are commercial laws. Look up the UCC codes, and it will tell you what is considered a commercial crime. And I guarantee you'll be floored by what you find. But going back to all that, if you think that the American education system is going to help you out too, like that, I was like, well, I'm going to go to college, I'm going to learn all this stuff like that, and I'm going to use this again. Think again. What you're learning is the after-the-fact information that America wants people to learn. To me, I feel that some of the students that have been going to other countries and learning in those colleges have a better understanding of the American system of things than we Americans do, because a lot of lies have been told throughout the years, and we become like a Pavlov experiment where we basically parrot everything that's been told to us. Like, I know the biggest thing was Columbus, and yes, I agree there was atrocities done during that time, but one man cannot be a mastermind behind everything that's gone on from 1492 till onward. There has to be a system behind that particular person. Yes, he was a catalyst, but he was not the main thing that's transpired. So we've got to start thinking in those terms. We've got to start thinking more broadly. And I hate to say that religion has been one of those bigger, broader things that we don't look at. Yeah, a lot of us are Christian, and don't get me wrong, I respect people who are Christian, I respect people who are Muslim, any faith like that. But you have to admit that religion, and especially religions that want to control their members, seem to be a powder keg waiting to explode. It just takes one thing for that to be blown out of proportion. It sounds like I'm doing a lot of red herrings, but I'm probably on a lot of different thought patterns, so bear with me. But the religious aspect of it all is what started this whole thing with Columbus. And two, this was a plan that was from the get-go. They knew about this land. There are maps that go way back, even in the time of Egypt, that show the continent mass being here. That's one of the biggest educational fallacies that has been told to school children for thousands, I wouldn't say thousands of years, but hundreds of years, in the Americas. Also, too, that Columbus, started genocide in the Americas. Well, he started genocide in the Caribbean islands, not really in the Americas. Can't really call it an island chain, as part of the American continent. Okay, who started that basically was the Catholic Church. Again, one man could not mastermind the entire process. There has to be others behind it. So, and there are several other key issues that we can go through like that, like what happened between 1492 and 1620 when the Mayflower landed the first pilgrims. There's several things that we're missing here like that, but we're relying upon the education system to tell us the truth. They're not going to tell us the truth. They're going to keep lying to us until the lie becomes the truth. Just like saying Columbus discovered India. India didn't exist. Look it up. It did not exist till 1947 when Britain decided to go ahead and leave the country and for India to gain its independence. So it became the Republic of India. Back then, during Columbus' time, it was known as Hindustan, which means the place of the Hindus. That, people, it's there. Look it up. I'm not telling you anything that's false, anything that you can't research on your own. But there are several things that we need to do as Native peoples is to not rely upon the colonial mindset, not become cognitive dissonant to the facts. And what I mean by cognitive dissonance like that is it's basically getting a belief system told to you, but rejecting that belief system because your former belief system says, no, that's not the right issue. That's not the right way to think. And a lot of us have become cognitive dissonant. We need to wake up. We need to quit being cognitive dissonant towards things that have to do with our people. And that being said, we need to go ahead and do away with the political system. When we become political, we become divided because then we become cognitive dissonant towards other people's opinions, other people's information, other people's way of thinking. And for us to be united, it doesn't mean that we have to think all the same. We don't have to do that. To be united means that we support one another, even though we have differences that make us, individuals of a different nature. But it's the support and the respect. And that's why, the Kunat San have decided to go to a spiritual way of doing things. And whether a lot of you agree with that particular aspect of us, well, that's fine. I don't, expect anyone to agree with the way that we are going to handle it as a band and as a government organization. And yes, I say government organization because we are governed by the people. I do not have the ability to say, oh, this person needs to do this or this person needs to do that. I've got to go through my people. That's the traditional way of doing it. My people choose their leaders. That's the traditional way of doing it. My people tell me what is needed. That's the traditional way of doing it like that. Is it the right way? Nobody says it's the right way. Nobody says it's wrong either. But that's the way that the spirits, that's the way the ancestors, and that's the way the elders have taught me. I wouldn't say the right way, is the real way to do things in this day and age. I say real, not right, I say real. Because it's tangible. It's not something that I just, oh, it's a fancy thing. No, it's tangible. It's real. It's something that I can visibly see working. And that's what I mean by real. So hopefully nobody gets that wrong with saying it's the right way. It's the real way. It's the real way to go. Spirituality is the real way to go. Not the right way to go, the real way to go. Because once we become spiritual beings, then we start to understand each other. So, with that being said, I just want to go ahead and, put this out there because I think putting it in words for Facebook, not YouTube, but for Facebook is not really conveying what I'm trying to say. So all you naysayers out there who want to say, Steve's just being ridiculous, hey, your opinion and your right to your individual thinking and thought process. But as for the Kunat and the consensus of my people, we are going to do what is right by our own people and what is right for us. And we don't expect anyone else to follow or to do as we say. But we know what we need to do in order to strengthen our people and our community. And I'm hoping that people start to realize, the spiritual path is the way to do it. So, I thank all y'all for listening and for, being able to be here like that. Again, Steven Fernandez. I am the Nakan of the Kunatsa Ende to the Sinende Lapon Apache Band of the Lapon Apache Nation, Texas. So, Gojo, and have a great day.